to be taking some talks with Mr. Rallis.
Thank you very much, Pyra. And I am here with Mr. Rallis. I'm actually very happy I'm sitting down with you rather than standing up because the height difference would make it very difficult for me. First off, in that game, obviously the first game was very rough for you guys, but putting it back in the second one as well, looking even more confident for the 2-0. What kind of happened that you were able to punish the mistakes from Roccat there?
I'm not sure, to be honest, because our team play is really bad at the moment. I think, honestly, we're just better players, and that's why we won the game.
Okay, so I kind of want to look at you guys through the last couple of weeks, because first week we saw you just came out of the gate swinging, just beating up everybody, then you kind of took a dip. So what happens over the last, at least the last week and yesterday's games?
I think our team play is the main problem right now. We're getting out-rotated, outplayed, and our vision control is just really bad, and we don't really follow our game plan. We don't play to our comp strengths, and then we just lose every game because every team knows how to do this.
So you just named a lot of weaknesses. What's the biggest thing you need to specifically work on? What is the building block that you need to build moving forwards?
I was saying our main issue is that we don't plan anything. We should plan stuff and use our waves, and when we know we are stronger, then we should just go. And our problem is that we go in, and then when we're in there, we are not kind of sure what we should do, and when we just end up doing nothing, and then we just slowly lose the game, and that's the problem.
Well, at the moment, it seems like you do have a game plan moving forward, so hopefully that will work out. I do want to switch the subject to talking about kind of the ADC meta and how that's evolved, because we're now seeing Ashe come out and Jhin as well, but you also picked Ezreal. So where do those new picks fit in, and when do you just default back to an Ezreal or a Caitlyn?
Well, I think right now Caitlyn is the most broken champion in as AD carry, and all the others you can kind of just play. I think Jhin is really strong if you have long-range mid lane, like Azir or Varus, because you can use the W. And Ezreal is just good overall because he scales really well, and I really like it with Triforce. And Ashe is good if you need hard engage. So you can kind of play whatever you want as AD carry, but obviously Caitlyn is the most broken.
Oh, very interesting. Thank you very much for the insight, and thanks for the interview, and congratulations on the win. We're now going to send it over to the analyst desk to take a look at the game.
Thank you so much. Very introspective words there from Rallis. And you guys definitely wanted to jump immediately on the Caitlyn Jhin prioritization discussion.
Yeah, I'm just so happy the way he explained the point. Yeah, Caitlyn is fantastic. She's very strong. She works in basically, he said broken, yeah, that's true. Works in almost any composition except for when she wants to sit mid lane and a Victor is taking up that space. It can be a little bit tricky. But the Jhin point is especially what stood out to me, and I really agree with his point how Jhin is great if you have long-range mid laners like Azir and Varus who can set him up, because you need something that can land. You need someone who can land long-range damage to then make sure when you W someone as Jhin, you get the snare. Victor does not have long enough range to do that.
Yep.
So in this composition here, I felt like both the Jhin, and I'm even going to add in the jungle pick in the Kindred, they were completely out of place. They didn't fit together at all.
Yeah, Steelback was really looking for somebody to help him block that Deadly Flourish. And in other compositions, we've seen it just work so beautifully here. There wasn't anything there. I think Rocket's draft, again,
it's bad.
They got outplayed and outdrafted by Schalke. If we go into a couple examples here, Schalke opens up with the Gragas pick, right? That is the first top-tier jungler that they pick up. Then Gilius still opts, then Roccat still opts into the Kindred on Airwax, which is traditionally a counter pick. Gragas, can knock you out, as opposed to maybe going for the Rek'Sai that could set up the Jhin, have more frontline, keep the fight busy to allow Victor and the Jhin to enter the fight. Because they had so many issues getting there. They got outranged, outpoked. By the time they got into the fight, it was almost always over.
Yep.
You guys mentioned that you feel like Nif's draft, so the coach, have been better overall from looking back to what Elements used to draft?
Well, yeah, I do think so, because I think Schalke has a much better understanding now of how to actually combine multiple roles and multiple picks together, like the Jhin with Azir and Varus as an example, drafting early Gragas as well, because it's actually been one of the picks Airwax has used in the past. So take that away and give it over to Gilius, so he's on a big frontline tank where he doesn't need to make big plays early game. I think that's super smart and smart by Nif. And I mean, to your Roccat point as well, they just seem to draft very specific comfort picks, where you don't look at the entire comp. You say what do you want to play on each individual lane, and that's not how you draft. Then you get these weird comps that doesn't fit together.
Yeah, if you look at how Roccat should approach the mid game, these slightly passive picks like a Victor and a Jhin, they need somebody else to set up for them. I think that is what spirals into Roccat just not being proactive in the early game. To touch on what you just mentioned, not only are they drafting similar comps, because I've seen Elements draft poke comps last bit too, but they weren't doing anything with it. They've improved their lane swap, their map play, and they know how to kind of group together and make it work. Whereas last split we had these games where Spraddle was like level 4 at like 27 minutes or something, and right now they're getting the impact, so they're a lot more cohesion on the side of Schalke.
Let's take a look at some of the replays from this game. A mid lane fight first up, where things started to go well for Schalke.
Yeah, so this is first of all where Gilius on a Gragas has so much impact. It's a beautiful engage. There's really nothing at that point you can do as Eric's, but Roccat should never been in this situation in the first place because they just lost a few ultis before this. You should just have backed away. There's no reason to stay. You're just kind of allowing Schalke to get the perfect engage, and Gilius here is a great teammate saying, you know what, I'm going to take this one for the team. Does go down, but you already won the fight, so who cares?
The highlight of that replay is obviously just the E-Flash engage and what you can do with it. Just Gilius was so influential in this entire stage. And look, all this ranged poke coming out, you know, and trailing, and on the back end, a random little arrow here from Varus, a bar Q that suddenly connects. What we call is like conditional engage. You can launch the bar ulti, the Varus ulti, and then you can still decide if you want to opt into this fight or not. And that is, I think, really, really important here. Whereas Roccat, they were playing like kind of shotgun, like go in once and pray that this Kindred ulti holds up. And then we can talk about the Victor build too. There's so many things that we can talk about that went wrong here for Roccat.
And not even this whole go in once, because like, how do you actually go in the first place?
You walk up and die.
You walk up, you're like, I'm running at this Varus, and oh, he's going to shoot me in the face, and Ezreal's going to shoot me in the face, and then I'm already down to 50%, now I actually have to run away, and then a Gragas flashes in, and I'm dead. So I felt like Schalke outdrafted Roccat again. I think Echo, by the way, terrible top lane pick right now. I think Echo is dead in top lane. Yeah, okay, he's like, decent, but you don't want a decent top lane pick where you can get a great top lane pick, which there are 5 or 6 of them.
I mean, you answer your own question right there. How do you walk in? Obviously not from the front, so you need a flank, and what do you get for a flank is a winning top laner. How do you get a winning top laner?
Not draft Echo into Trundle.
Do not last pick Echo into Trundle. Like, yeah, get the Gnar again, get some winning matchups so you can push the Trundle and get around to the fight, maybe have somebody distract and then walk in from the front, but if you're losing your side lanes and you're losing your 4-man mid.
One bad play from Schalke, so Roccat has something to cheer for. Right? I guess we have our little Baron play here. So this was obviously the highlight for Roccat in this game. There you go, Crepo, take it away.
It's just the weakness of a poke comp. Their biggest advantage is range. If you lock yourself down by being stationary at an objective, then you start messing up. And then things go wrong.
And our producer is telling us to rap. So you got something, Crepo?
I'm a big Eminem fan, personally, but I don't think that's
rap God.
a different rap. Okay, yeah, we have to wrap up here. That was the last replay. Apparently,
no, we're still gonna crown a player of the game.
Okay, we're not
Gilius, for all the flack we gave him, he did step up. You guys really love Gragas. I heard that here as well as a jungle. #1 pick for sure for you guys, but Gilius still played good.
Hard engage.
Not the #1 pick for sure, but it's a great pick in the jungle.
I mean, hard engage. He's a tank, and he has Oktoberfest skin.
But you're saying it has nothing to do with Gilius.
No. Gilius plays well. I like Gilius when he's not trying to solo win the game for his team, because I actually think that's what Airwax is trying to do for Roccat in the early game, and that's why they fall behind. This time around, Gilius has played well in team fights. Great performance from him, honestly. And again, it's what Schalke needs. And it's important for Schalke when they play these middle-of-the-pack teams that he shows up so they can win these games, because that's how you make top 6. You're not going to win the split from it, but you make top 6. It's all we care about.
So Schalke a 2-0 over Roccat. To go back to Roccat was, of course, wearing the Dortmund jerseys, trying to tilt Schalke. It didn't work. And it's actually the inverse in the Bundesliga, because BVB or Dortmund is actually in 2nd place and Schalke is in 5th. So at least Schalke gets a bit back here on the Rift as an instant thing.
Apparently it's a running joke that Schalke will never win anything in the Bundesliga.
I think you pissed off a lot of people right now.
I actually really like Schalke. I've been a fan of Schalke since I was like a kid, because they used to have a Danish striker.
Do you hear it's backpaddling?
No. There's a Danish striker called Ebbe who's like, he was a god for Danish footballers here. And he used to play for Schalke for many, many years. And he was like the best striker they've had since Hondelar.
There was actually a great soccer player from Belgium there.
Soccer? Okay, you're done.
Yeah,
over on stream, you will see us one, guys.
For my American viewers,
really?
Great Belgian football player there. Nico something, but my friend had a t-shirt of that player. So Schalke, big fans here.
Right, but
Soccer.
We're going to check in with some League of Legends. Over on stream, EU LCS 1, G2, they had a 2-0 over the Unicorns of Love. Unicorns of Love actually didn't do that bad in the early. They even got a Baron, but in the end, G2 just took over.
Yeah, I mean, it was not like the last game where Unicorns had the snowball in the mid lane. First, it actually didn't happen at all, this one. Perks went completely crazy on Brazilian. And then it was just like Unicorns never got an advantage. They walked into a few team fights where G2 were just a much better team. And it was pretty one-sided game.
You could just see the experience between both these teams. I'm happy for Unicorns that they had a good start in game 1. And I think that if you can still camp for Exile and get him rolling, I think that's what they can take from this. G2, honestly, I expected a cleaner 2-0, but still dominating the league.
Yep, Perks got the player of the game as well on that one. But back in the studio, we've got another matchup on our hands. When we return, Team Vitality and H2K go at it in our next series of the day. Stay with us.
8%.
In comes Gillius, does throw the barrel, but it only knocks everyone back, and he's stunned up in the gravity field, and Steelback cleans him up. On Airwax, and Gillius, the curtain call, Steelback grabs a kill for himself, Airwax having to flash, and a true shot barrage, 2 quick cleanups, Brang going low, Chaos Storm, not enough, Rallis sinks the goal, do they have the damage, gravity field, Spraddle, a triple for Steelback, Betsy's down, everybody is dying in this fight, it's chaos, Schalke coming up huge, Roccat, kudos for playing a brilliant game, but the end score is gonna be 2-0 to Schalke, no fear.